Well, hello and welcome along to this strategy roadmap and release overview from the Sage HRMS team. Here's what we have planned for you to run for about an hour or so, possibly a bit less. On the agenda today, you can see in front of you those 5 bullet points, but first, let me introduce your speakers for you. I'm David Beard. I'm probably a new voice to some of you if you're an HRMS listener. I am the CRM principal with Sage CRM. That's my regular day job, and I look after one of Sage's global products in a sales and product management capacity, helping to share the love of what Sage CRM can do. And for those of you who want to know a little about Sage CRM, it offers all sorts of functionality for marketing, sales, and service departments, the front office tools. And around the world, thousands of businesses in industries and as processes as diverse as pharmaceutical, legal, quarry, service control, damage repair, all sorts of industries, even death care management, which is funerals and associated activities. All those sorts of industries use our product. But I'm helping and providing some of the skills I bring to that product to Joyce and the rest of the HRMS team today. So let me hand over to Joyce and she can introduce herself as well.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joyce Tharp, Product Manager for Sage HRMS. I've been with Sage for 16.5 years, working on HRMS products. I am very excited about the investment being made into HRMS and all of the exciting new features and functionality we will be bringing to you over the next few years. Back to David to get us started.
Super, thanks, Joyce. Also in the background, our colleague Nancy Palacio will be collecting questions. And if you have any of them, do drop them in the chat box. And what we'll do is pick them up at the end as part of the wrap-up session. So as you're going along, drop them in there and Nancy will collect them. We'll talk about them towards the end of the session. As ever, while this session represents our current intentions with the Sage HRMS product, things may change, they may modify, be delayed, or even abandoned without any prior notice, and so there are no specific assurances. Or, to borrow and bend a phrase from the North American vernacular, our mileage may vary. So, a quick recap, I thought, to start off the show, of what HRMS is and what it offers. It's all about empowering human resources, HR departments, to actively support company objectives while improving the HR efficiency. And that's about streamlining HR processes, helping you keeping track of employee records and actions, compliance needs, maybe tracking and managing benefits administration, time off management, and reporting across all those elements and more. And as an industry-leading and very richly customizable HRMS solution, the product helps companies design and optimize HR processes to help you successfully meet and respond to the HR management challenges each and every day, really allowing you and your staff to spend more time working on the businesses you run, not on the administration of employees. For those of you who are perhaps new to the product, or maybe a reminder too for old hands on the range of the proposition, let's take a 30,000-foot one-page view. Joyce will then follow this slide with a top-level walkthrough of the HRMS strategy for the product in the coming years. So let's have a look at that 30,000-foot reminder. Payroll is part of the wrap, giving you accurate, timely, in-house payroll processing and access to current and historical information at any time. It's all about allowing you to simplify your process and staying compliant with changing tax laws. Employee self-service is about giving your employees a fast, efficient way to request time off, review their pay history, perhaps update their contact information, and more. It's that self-service automation we are increasingly seeing in business, helping serve your employees and keeping track of compliance and such things. Time and attendance from Delphia is all about enabling the collection, analysis, and control of attendance and labor data online and in real time through a 100% web-based solution. Benefits Messenger is bringing you secure automation of the communication of employee benefits enrollment data up to health insurance carriers. This automation saves you money by ensuring you're not charged for terminated or ineligible employees. HRMS Org Plus, that's from Insperity, which helps companies and their managers and employees better understand a company's strategy and structure through the creation of organizational charts and the publishing, printing, sharing of these charts, and more. HRMS Actions from Delphia enables you to easily create paperless forms using any fields from Sage HRMS. So you can process any actions from request to hire to termination and everything in between, including status changes and performance appraisals. And finally, HRMS alerts and workflows from the Vineyard Shop team. This helps organizations avoid saying, oh, if only we'd known. Alerts and workflows is all about identifying and responding to conditions that fall outside of an organization's standard operating procedures, such as contracts that are about to expire, maybe an employee returning from leave, or a new hire. Okay, so that's the proposition overview. Let me hand over to Joyce to walk us through the roadmap for the coming years. I'll return after that with a reminder of how the HRMS product has evolved since around this time last year. Over to you, Joyce.
Thank you, David. Our 3-year vision is to provide a modernized and user-friendly product delivering on customer and market needs to drive business success. To accomplish this, I want to review the 5 core principles with you. The first one is modernization, simplification, and ease of use. This month, we will be releasing the ESS modernization, which we will talk more about later in the presentation. Q4 2021 will bring a modernized ESS mobile access experience for employees, managers, and administrators, providing additional data and functionality for all users. Product capabilities is our second core principle. In each release, we strive to address a number of enhancement requests that will add value and address ease of use, and we will also continue to identify and implement strategic payroll improvements. Third will be web application accessibility. In 2022, we will begin migrating our existing core HRMS screens to the web platform, which will upgrade the technology, provide improved performance, and increase the longevity and scalability of Sage HRMS. This will be delivered in phases throughout 2022 and early 2023. Enhancing payroll and ISV integrations is our 4th core principle. The payroll and ISV integrations will be updated for integration with the web application to offer a complete solution. And our 5th core principle is creating a mobile app for the HRMS ESS web product to allow users to work from anywhere and gain productivity. In addition, we will continue to deliver technical and brand compliance and legislative updates on a quarterly basis. Now let's talk about making the move to subscription. Why make the move? Well, the reality is moving to the subscription model is necessary for software publishers to continue to thrive, which benefits you. The subscription business model is becoming the dominant one, and Sage is making the move to stay competitive in the market. It is easy to migrate to subscription. There is no install required. You will enter your customer number and the system will check for subscription and update automatically. Perpetual version updates will be limited to technical, brand, and legislative compliance updates, along with critical bug fixes. Our new features, some that you are hearing about today, and many more over the next few years, will be exclusive to the subscription version. So you can see why now is the time to move to subscription. Subscription includes access to the application and support, which means there is no business care line item for subscription. The Gold Business Care Plan is included with the subscription version. You will receive a 40% discount on Atrix tax service packages for tax filings and printing of your W-2s and other year-end forms. And you will also receive 50% off on training through Sage University. Contact your business partner today if you are interested in making the move. If you move before year end, you will receive a 45% discount on the first year's cost. Years 2022 through 26 will also be discounted, but the percentage of the discount does decrease each year. David, I think it's worth reminding our listeners about the differences of perpetual versus subscriptions. Can you do that for us?
Of course, good thing to do as well, because there's a lot of chat about it and sometimes the meaning is lost. Buying software on subscription is all about buying on a yearly or monthly basis and is an ongoing commitment. A perpetual plan license, on the other hand, is paid up front in one big lump sum typically. Then you would also pay a yearly maintenance fee, which would cover upgrades and support and things like that. If it helps you to think about software in a subscription fashion, then think about it like your cell phone plan as an example, which would look a bit like this. You choose your handset, your data, your minutes, perhaps messages to go with that, and then maybe your network as well, and a few other tweaks about particular coverage or family members you want involved and that sort of thing. And then you have your price, right? A price you pay every month for the life of the contract. That contract may be measured in months or years. It may include sweeteners like damage insurance or something like that. And you may choose to roll the contract over. That is a subscription purchase. You can, of course, if you don't want to do it that way, just buy the handset and the airtime up front. You're front loading the purchase in that case, the cost of the handset, perhaps several years of airtime. That is the perpetual version of the story. So in the world of software, it's both the same and a bit different. Think of it like an iceberg. Stay with me here. I know that's not a piece of software, but let me draw you a picture or three. And no, this isn't a map of Africa with a really weird equator high up. No. That's my artistic iceberg. And I'm going to make a point about hidden costs and where they occur. Let's do that. Let's put subscription and perpetual side by side. And let me put up the initial buy costs. So you immediately think, maybe perpetual on the right. That looks like a better deal. There's fewer things there, right? Buying up front looks cheaper and easier. But stop to consider what is under the surface. The real ongoing costs. Paying for system upgrades, maintenance contracts that give you the support, running the IT infrastructure, and more. And so that's why I've chosen this iceberg graphic, this metaphor. I'm trying to show you the above the water cost as well as the below the water cost. In subscription land, with the subscription license, all of the benefits are provided up front in a one yearly or monthly fee. There's no other hidden cost below the water. Of course, the major benefit of subscription software model is ease and simplicity as well for you, our customers. Subscription includes everything you need to actually run the product. So generally, all things considered, it is cheaper to invest in subscription software rather than a perpetual software plan. And I hope that iceberg explanation helps explain the difference between the two. And I hope that sort of resonates with you and I guess maybe some of the decisions you'll be making about your own investments. Now, let's remind ourselves of what the HRMS development team have brought to you since around this time last year. And I'll do that in a series of 4 slides, reminding you of the detail of the 4 releases since September 2020. By the way, just to draw your attention to the navigational aid on the next 4 slides, see those blue bars on the left. These are indicating the differences between features that are appearing new in subscription offer, but not in perpetual. So for example, on this slide, the 3 sections at the top, export, create, and links, are available in the subscription-only version of the product, while the bottom 3 are in both. So keep this in mind as we look at this slide and the next 3. So in September 2020, the focus of this slide, a couple of highlights for you that came out in that release. And I'm doing this to kind of bring everyone up to speed in case you've maybe missed a release or did catch up with the last briefing. In the top left corner, feature called export results and set filters was enabling on the employee find page the ability to click an export button that allows you to export if a current view of the employee table that you're seeing straight out to a CSV file to a location where you decide. That's convenient. Why? Because for reporting, it's a quick way of getting that data out and quickly seeing organizational information in one source. Also in that same release, by the way, and in the subscription-only version, came the ability to provide links to favorite and most visited sites in the navigation menu. Again, easy to get information without exiting the current page that the user is on. On the top row again in the middle, the ability to create your own company and employee security questions. This feature, again in the September 20 release, offered the ability for customers to have their master users or employees create their own security questions. And this is responding to a world with an increasing focus on information security. This means that companies and employees themselves have confidence they are using information that is not easily accessible by other means and that the data is secure. In December 2020, that release, and again, keep an eye on the navigational aids to the left there, let me highlight a couple of things that came out in that release. On the top row, a subscription-only feature, the ability to access your most used secure query reports with one click from the homepage. It means in the My Shortcut areas, HR admin teams could enable easy viewing of frequently visited reports. Clicking the tile meant that users could see a table of their favorite reports and click the preview icon to view the report, which means they didn't have to spend time navigating around menus to get to things they might use quite often. Also in that release, the team added the ability to add new earnings to the configuration profile. Customers no longer needed to worry about forgetting to set default hours to values to know when setting up new employees, which means customers minimize mistakes when creating new employee configuration profiles. In March 2021, a couple of features just to bring to your attention. On the left-hand side, this idea of setting up benefits savings plan contributions. This means that employees automatically contribute to a particular amount or a percentage towards their pensions or savings plans. There's less admin work required, and HR admin teams no longer have to go into each employee's records to set up the contribution. Related to that and delivered in December's 2020 release was making savings benefits information more accessible through a summary page. So again, seeing all that data in one place, saving time in navigating around to get to it. In June 2021, a couple of focuses here. The passive open enrollment on the left-hand side, a subscription feature, meant that employees can elect to continue their current benefits for the next benefit period instead of requiring them to pick each benefit election again. This reduces the time spent by employees, and they can select the same plans and roll them forward rather than having to re-enter it one more time. Hopefully, happier employees and less time spent putting data in. Also, the I-9 verification status, indicating that that information has been destroyed. That's all about helping managing the company's legislative paperwork, negating the need to manually have to track destruction of documents and providing the information easily for audits. It means you can report on field values and provide that information to auditors quickly, simply, correctly. So that was a quick roundup of some of the features, just some of the features delivered over the last year. The point is, and I hope that's helpful, that if you haven't got around to reviewing those recent versions, it's a useful knowledge top up for you now, which means you can also have a chat with your partner or Sage directly about moving to a latest version. Okay, over to the main event for today. It's the team's latest release, and it's back to Joyce to walk us through.
Thank you, David, for walking us through the capabilities the team delivered since September 2020. Here are those themes again on one page. The team and I hope you can see how the company is committed to studying both customer feedback and market trends to build features that help make HR a success in their own companies. Now it is time to take a look inside this October release. Let me start by showing some of the main themes here in a few summary slides. Then we will go into a demonstration of these features in action. In the October release, there are many new things to talk about. These are just a few of the updates. Along with a new, modern, and refreshed look, you will now have responsive UIs that will allow for resizing the application to fit the user preference for your browser window. We expanded the screen resolution to 1920 by 1080 to support today's primary monitor size. We improved the error validation and confirmations. An indicator will appear on the actual field it applies to and provides instructions on what is needed to clear the validation. We improved the employee time off experience by simplifying the request process, including a quick at-a-glance calendar view of time available, pending, approved, and taken. And we also expanded the manager view by adding a calendar to quickly see employees' time off status for the month. For life event and open enrollment, including the passive open enrollment that was released in June 2021, we implemented a new wizard page navigation so you can tell at a glance what pages you have completed, where you are, and what is left. This will allow users to determine if they have time to complete the enrollment now or save a draft and continue later. We combined personal profile, address, phone, email, and emergency contacts, which were separate pages, on one page for easier and faster access to the data. We added new pages and over 100 new fields, some of which you can see on this slide, that can be viewed and are edited by employees. This will save employees and admins time by not having to call into HR or fill out paperwork and then have to do the data entry into the system. Shown on this slide and the next are some of the information that was added. We added the wellness page as well as previous employer. And if an employee has a secondary job, it will now show on the job page, and the employee and manager notes will be shown if the option is selected in HRMS by the admin. And now it's time to see the demonstration of the new product in action. On the Logon page, you can add custom text on the left-hand side in the settings options. We also have a show password option. When you log on, you'll either be taken to the home page or to the message page, depending on what is set up by your administrator. When you come up to the widgets, you'll see that there's some that are labeled My Pay History, My Time Off, and others that do not have the My in front of them. Joe is a manager, so the My Pay History, My Time Off is his personal information. Anything that doesn't have My in front of it is his direct reports information. You can go to any of these and see the details, and then go back to the home page. You can select which widgets you want to show on the page. And you can also move them around if you want to show something of more importance up at the top. Also, I wanted to show you that the new navigation for the roles is up in this drop down to go to manager or administrator menus. You also have a profile picture up here that will show the name of the employee, the title, and their employee ID. So we're going to go to the message page. On the message page, you can see personal requests, time off requests, and notifications. You can either navigate using the menu on the right-hand side, and it will expand it at the same time that it goes to it. Or you can scroll if you prefer to do that. Now we'll go into the personal pages. On the personal profile, you can change, the employees can change their photo. This is on the security page, so you can have approval before the photo posts out on ESS. We have combined 5 of the pages that were previously single individual pages. We combined them all together on one page, which was a popular request. You can navigate to those pages using the right menu, or you can scroll. There is an indicator bar on the left that shows what section you are currently in. And you can go all the way down and go back up. On this page also, I wanted to point out that when you're in a field, there is a focus outline in gold that will show you what field you're currently in. There's also indicators for required fields. If one of the required fields is not entered and you hit save, it will bring up validation message. It will bring that validation message up at the top as well as in the field and tell you exactly what needs to be entered. And we also have the instructions. Click on the light bulb, brings out the instructions. It shows the related links. You can also go to the context sensitive help from the instructions. Other items on the personal, we have events. On these grids, you can click on any page, on any spot in the grid, and it will bring up the page, and you can scroll through any of the events that are listed there. You can also add new ones. If there is an attachment, this will be enabled, and you can go see the attachment. Notes, if the admin has selected that the employee can see notes, they will be here, and you can open it up and see it. And change Logon, I wanted to show you a couple of things here. It does show the focus. They can now enter their own security question. If they do try to save without entering something correctly, each field will tell them exactly what needs to be entered. On time off, I do want to go to admin for a minute to show you that under system settings and time off setup, the admin can select the color that they want to show for the vacation plans they have entered. So I just wanted to show you that feature. And we'll go back to the employee. We now have a visual calendar for the employees. If it's a solid color, it is approved time off. If it is an outline, it is pending. And if there's a triangle, that indicates a partial day. In this instance, Joe took a partial day for sick and a partial day for vacation. And so it's got both colors. If it's just one time off, then it would be only the one color in there. Your details of each plan is here for your balance. You can also go to the details and see more how the calculation was done. And you can see each day so that if anything's pending, they can go in and they can update it from here. Or they can go to the request time off from here. They can also go back to the calendar view, and if they're in the calendar view, they can click on any day and select the request time off for that day. For benefits, under current benefits, it shows your totals. It also shows your dependents and beneficiaries if there are any. For life events, I wanted to show you this to show you the new navigation wizard for life events and open enrollment. On this, it will show you what you have completed, what step you're on, and what's next. So if I go to next, it shows me I finished the first page. Now I'm on the second page, and then I have 3 more to go before I get finished. Open enrollment, I don't have set up, so I'm not going to go to that page. Benefit letters, if it's indicated in HRMS that the employee can see their benefit letters in ESS, then it will be here. They can download it or print it. Dependents and beneficiaries, you can click on the grid. It'll take you into each one. You can see what coverage they have and if they are a dependent or a beneficiary or both. You can click through to the next ones and then go back to the main page. You can also add a new one from here and it will go through an approval process. We also added the wellness page. This page is also under security, so you can make it as view only or you can allow them to edit it. Under employment, we have job, which will now show secondary job if they have one assigned to them. We have compensation. We have length of service, which is new. It helps if they have any questions about how their time off was calculated. Their performance review. Their pay history. They can click on any date, see their pay stub, and print it or download it. And they can also see attachments that have been set up in HRMS as show in ESS. They can click on them, print them, and download them. For career, we have education. They can add a new one. They can click on the line, go to the details. For skills, you can click on the line and go through each one or add a new one. And then we also added previous employer. We added over 100 fields and some additional pages in here so that it would help employees to be able to do things themselves. It will still go through an approval process if you want it to go through an approval process, but it will save on paperwork and on employees having to call HR to get changes made. For the company phone list, you can see all of the information. The information that shows on this is dependent on what the employee has selected on their personal page. For instance, for Joe Black, he selected on the personal page. I will go there and show that to you. He show on the phone list, he selected everything as yes for that and for the alternate email. So that is the employee's choice as to what shows on there. That's why you are seeing some that don't have any information and then Joe that has a lot. You can also go straight to the organization chart by clicking on his name. You can go to anybody in his list, click on their name and go to their organization chart as well. And then for training, we have available courses, which is, again, it's the grid. You can click on it and scroll through. We have training history, and we have certifications. So now I'm going to go to the manager. For the manager time off, we have a new calendar. Again, it shows the legend down here for what colors were chosen and what plan was selected. It was assigned to. If it is a colored in, it's a full day. The triangles are partial days and the outline is pending. You can mouse over any of it and see the details. The icon next to the name means that there are reports for Brittany. You can go out and see her direct reports and see what days off they have, and then go back to the direct reports. Here you can select the month that you want to see and also the year. The day, the current day is highlighted so that it's an indicator for what day you're currently at. Under the employees, of course, you can see all of the same pages we just went through for the employee. For organization, you can see direct reports. You can open it up. You can see this. You can see that Brittany also has reports. You can open that up and show her reports. You can also assign a temporary approver. If you're going to be out and you want somebody to be able to act on the time off requests and any other notifications or requests that you get for data changes. And then for training, you can see the training that your direct reports have completed.
Okay, terrific. Thanks, Joyce, for the summary of the themes earlier. And of course, that demonstration of the features in this, the latest October 21 release. By the way, everyone will want to know, right? What is the release date and where can people get it?
The release will be published next week on Thursday, October 28th. You can download it through the end product message you will receive or from Sage City. And just a reminder, you will need to be on subscription to download the release.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. Thank you. Any new release of software, of course, is much more than just the product. There are surrounding programs of education and information updates to help everyone understand what more is available and how they can quickly get up to speed on what's new. So again, I'm going to hand back to Joyce, who will talk further about those education and training updates. Joyce.
Thank you, David. For support resources for HRMS, as well as all the Sage products, visit Sage City. Select your country and then select your product and select resources from the top menu. You can join customer forums, blogs, town hall groups, and much more. It is a great place to see Sage HRMS announcements, news, and alerts, view product documentation such as installation, user guides, and release notes. You can also search the Sage knowledge base, download software and updates, and watch support and training videos. Learn more about year-end and find Sage contact information all in one place. You can also explore Sage University. You can find training by subject or get certified. When registering for an instructor-led class, use code HRMS resource to get 10% off. If you have gold support or are on subscription, this 10% is in addition to the 50% off. And just a reminder that if you have Gold Business Care or subscription, anytime learning videos are free. You can attend a series of free one-hour webinars hosted by a team of experts focusing on a specific aspect of Sage HRMS. The upcoming webinars are customizing the navigation pane and employee toolbar on November 8th. In December, what's new in the Q4 update, and in January, how to generate W-2s using Atrix. And you can find those all in Sage University. Now back to David to wrap up.
Lots of places to read, inquire, and learn more. Thank you, Joyce. Okay, so thank you all for listening, and thank you all for sending your questions through as well. Nancy's been compiling them together and has popped them over to Joyce. So Joyce, most of them I think are you to answer, but before we go there, I just want to do a quick wrap up to say we have taken you through the strategic direction of the product and reminded you of a lot of the work delivered in the last 12 months, along with the overview of what's coming this month. So Joyce, if you've gathered your thoughts on the questions, let's make a start. Over to you to pick up those half a dozen I can see right now.
Okay, so the first one is, will ESS have Canadian T4 download option for employees? The answer to that is not at this time, but it is being considered and is on our roadmap to be considered for a future release.
Okay.
The next one is it seems like a business partner answered this already. No, the subscription doesn't include the equipment. It is still on the client's equipment. I'm not sure what that is supposed to be asking.
All right.
How do we receive the recording? David, do you?
That'll be made available. We'll put something on Sage City for sure, just to remind everybody of the new release and where to get the recording of this one. So that's how we'll deal with that.
Okay.
How about Paul's question of 300x3?
The integration of Sage HRMS with Sage 300 and Sage X3, the integration will continue to be the same. Once we start moving the core HRMS over, that's one of the core principles, was updating the integrations. If that doesn't answer your question, Paul, you can always email me and we can talk more about it to be specific with your question. Does an administrator have the ability to see the entire time off calendar for the organization? Tracy, that is upcoming in one of our releases that will be coming up soon. As always, when you put out a first release of something, there's always improvements and product feedback that we hope to get from all of the users that download this new release. And any of those kind of suggestions will definitely be taken into consideration for the upcoming releases that we will have.
Great. How about Jeffrey's question? Jeffrey Olson.
Any plans to allow attachments on employee notes? Yes, we are going to continue to improve the attachments enhancement that we put in a few months ago and make it available on more pages and also on more pages in ESS as well. Is it possible to default the home numbers to not show in ESS unless the employee changes that? Debbie, that is the current default when they first go in, that it is set to no, and they have to physically go in on their personal profile page and update that to say yes, they want to show it.
Okay.
If you are seeing something different than that, please let us know. And then how do Sage HRMS partners get registration information for the subscription version to install and become familiar with help and to help encourage clients to move to subscription? Sherry, we are going to provide more information to the business partners that will be coming soon. We do have another meeting scheduled for the business partners to talk more about the installation. And that will be coming out to everyone in the next few days. Okay. And then April, first of all, no question is stupid. I'm sure you've heard that all your life. With the new Sage ESS, it won't have the HR forms anymore. Everything that was in the previous HR, MS and ESS will be available. If it wasn't shown in this demo, it may just have, I just may not have had the correct settings set up, but yes, it will be there if it was in the current ESS. And it is not an app at this point, but that is one of our core principles, is to provide a mobile app in future years. 2023 to 2024.
April's asking about onboarding with ESS. Did you sort of answer that one, or is there a separate question there, do you think, Joyce?
That is kind of a separate question. I'm not sure if you're referring to an ISV that integrates with us. So I will have to check on that.
Okay.
It was in regard to David's iceberg slide. So David,
yeah,
I think this one's you.
That's fine. Yes, you're right there. So my iceberg is slightly smaller than I was inferring earlier. You're quite right, but it's still a general point. Other languages. Paul is asking about HRMS available in other languages, perhaps Spanish, he suggests. Question, yes or no?
Paul, we have considered that. If we do go that route, it will be after all of the 5 principles that we outlined already for you. So it will be several years down the road before we get to that.
Okay, Aaron asked, the current ESS shows an org chart. If we turn that on, will that still be an option?
Yes.
Okay.
There will be the org chart. And like I said earlier, anything that is in ESS today is still there.
All right. Rachel was asking about, where does the data go? Where does it live after the move to subscription? Well, that's hosted either at a hosting center of your choice, a partner's hosting center. That's the correct answer, is it not, Joyce?
Well,
would you like
today,
to?
yes, the partner
Yes.
can host it, or they can host it since it is a web application. But everything works the same as it does today in subscription. There's no technical differences. It's more of a billing situation.
Yes, yes. Okay. Are there any more I haven't seen there? Do you see any more, Joyce? Let's see.
Let's see. There's one from Dawn.
Dawn, yeah.
I'm not specifically aware of that issue, but I would suggest that you contact Sage support and find out if they have any information on that, and if not, they can log it to the R&D team.
Do you want to just rephrase the question so everyone knows what you're referring to, Joyce?
Is the Sage 100 payroll integration from Sage HRMS fixed? There were rate and other field issues. So like I said, if you can report that through support or check with them and see where the status of it, if you've already reported it. And will administrators be able to download a file with approved time off request or some report? If the report is created, they will be able to, if they have access to it and security. And if it's not created, you can use View Builder to create the report that you're looking for.
Right. Okay.
That's all the questions I see so far.
Yeah, that's it. I was just thinking, looking back as well, I think we've covered everybody. So it's last call for questions. If we've missed you or there's one other burning question you have, speak now or forever hold your HRMS question peace. I think that's probably all. All right, well, look, I'll give everyone sort of 10 more seconds and close it up. And if there's any more fired through, we'll keep a watch. As I said, today we've taken you through the strategic direction of the HRMS product, reminded you of all the work that's been done by the team in the last 12 months, and an overview of what's coming this month with the October 21 release. We hope it's given you reassurance of the ongoing efforts in maintaining your investment in the Sage HRMS offer, and a reminder of the features, if some of you are on older versions, that perhaps you could embed in your business. My thanks
so David,
to, shoot.
Sorry, we do have one other question that came in. Donna wanted to know, will the ESS new releases be sent out if you don't switch to subscription? So all of the new features will be put into the subscription release for ESS going forward. If there are any bug corrections or compliance fixes that go in, then all ESS users will get that release.
Right. Okay. And Randy is really keen to know if he can have a copy of the slides. Randy, depending on who you are, if you're a partner, they'll be available on the partner portal. If you're an end user, please drop your Sage account person and or partner in line, and we'll make sure that they come out. Fair enough, Joyce?
Yep.
I'll clean them up and take out all my spelling mistakes as well in my notes, obviously.
And
Okay.
I just want to add my thanks to everyone too for attending today.
Yeah. So thanks to everyone. Joyce, thank you. Nancy, for collecting the questions, thank you. And of course, to the wider R&D team behind HRMS, Mark, Inda, Tim, Sanjeev, Lynn, and the larger development team behind that, along with other specialists from our user experience and content management teams, all of whom work together to bring you this new round of HRMS goodness within this release and every release you've seen the highlights of. Thanks for listening, and we wish you a good day. Bye for now.